I'm back and getting to the point. We're gonna play one rapid game, explain the moves as we go along. We have 2100, 2400, 2100. It's actually 2400 than I am. We could play d4. This is an opening that I've been playing for, was it 10 years, 20 years? Let's make it 10. Let's make it 5. So d5, one of the moves here that I do is bishop takes, c3, c5 is one way. This is a fun line, though. You give up your bishop pair early on. You know, obviously, this opening is not a top tier opening, but it's one way to play. So he takes on c4, bishop takes c4. So the bishop could get really active here. So normally I do knight e2. Sometimes I would like to play knight g3. You could still play knight f3 though, but sometimes I do it this way. Just if I want to do like this kind of stuff later, possibility. Sometimes when you do this, you could take, which is not that great though, for black. So now it's all about like developing maybe knight c3, bishop d3, potentially, So knight, he played f5. If I play knight g3 now, right, you're looking at f4, potential f4. Maybe castles. So maybe you could play like queen e7, knight d7. I don't think he's going for that one. The knight f6 is also playable. There's a lot of choices here by black. Knight d7. Oh, well, he played knight d7. Heading toward knight f6, pretty much. So if I play here, attacking this f5 pawn, it's just knight f6. I wonder if I could play toward the center. Knight f6 takes. Knight b6, bishop b3. d5, knight e5. We may have to get a little bit active. Not sure about d5 though, but I mean, the point is I want to take. This bishop will be under attack, but it's not that easy. Supposedly knight e5. I have to bring my bishop back because the knight will be attacking the bishop. He played knight b6. Okay, so we could go back because he's still attacking it. So he could take on d5. I could take here. I'm not sure if this is the best continuation. Maybe knight e5 is much more precise by black. He's taking everything here. If I take here, I don't know if he could do bishop e6. I could take on b7. So maybe here knight d4 or rook d1. So this is a really interesting idea. I know this is met by here. He could still take. There's always knight d4. If I take with the bishop, maybe some kind of queen move. Queen e7. So if I take here, maybe queen e7. And then rook d8. We'll take with the queen. See what happens. I mean, this may be more precise. So getting out of the way from rook d1. If he plays passive, let's say he plays g6, maybe rook d1, knight d4 are pretty interesting ideas. So I played queen e7. So I think maybe knight d4, g6. It's just getting interesting. If I play rook d1, it's rook d8, hitting this one here, and then the queen is hanging on d5. Knight d4, g6. Let's do it. So he cannot really do this. Maybe I could still play that. If this were to happen, then I'm up a pawn. So he has to play here, defending that way. He could play queen f6. Maybe he could play queen f6, but maybe there are some enough pressure on this pawn. He played queen e5. I'm not sure if I like this move. He's trying to force a trade of queens, and he offered me a draw. He offered me a draw here. He's also lagging, though. So he's also lagging. I'm not sure if I'm, like maybe I could, maybe I could. There's a lag compensation that could happen, or maybe I have a time advantage later on. But I don't have a time advantage right now. I'm just low on time. Maybe I should be friendly here. I'm assuming that there's not much going for white. So if you cannot really like move away with the queen, right? Because if you move away with the queen, they all lead to queen takes h2, mate. Now, this means I have to take. So bishop takes. I mean, the knight on d4 is pretty good, but sometimes it's not enough. I mean, the knight on d4 is pretty ideal on d4. So let's say he takes on, I take, he takes, maybe rook d1, rook d8. He may at some point play like bishop e6 or even take on d4 at some point. I mean, maybe white is slightly better. Should I reject the draw? There's also knight f3 though. So the point of knight f3, and this may be interesting, because that would stop the mate on h2, because the knight is defending h2 that way. And if he takes, I bishop takes. So that kind of like, you know, this bishop cannot easily move, but he could still move the bishop, assuming there's rook b8. Like he could take rook b8, the bishop moves away, rook takes b2. So it's not really doing much. Should he trade? He may eventually move the bishop at some point, like bishop d7. It's hard to say what to do. I'm looking at the clock too. It's not much going on. Yeah, accepted the draw. You know, he's also lagging. I just lost like a point. I just want to take a look here what the computer would sync. Yeah, computer syncs is equal, pretty much. Should you take here? So that's not a bad decision by black or white, actually. The computer is giving this move also. Like, it's one way to play. And, you know, black could just simply go for this one. He's actually okay with that way. Rook d8. You know, black is really fine. Rook f d1. So I don't think, like, white has anything going per se, like, to keep playing on. How about the other moves? Let's say if you take on here. This is still equal, though. I was looking at maybe rook d1 or some kind of rook f d1, maybe. Yeah, you could see this is like f4. There's a reason why the computer is giving g3, though. I understand the concept. The computer is basically saying, or, you know, is basically defending the mate and also stopping f4. So if this were to happen, you don't have f4 here. That's going to be like a free pawn, right? So in the other lines, the other lines is probably like around here. Should you take and you play here, then it gives f4. So black is getting rid of his double pawns. If this were to happen, now, you know, black has nothing to worry about when it comes to like pawn structure. Even though when he had the double pawn, he still have the two bishops. So still like not like a direct weakness or anything. So black is still fine. So around here, it just looks like there's nothing much going on. The other moves, maybe I was looking at, you know, not much, right? There's not much you could do. I was looking at knight f3, right? Supposedly knight f3. This is still equal, though. Supposedly take, and this is actually, you know, rook d8, rook f d1. Same plans. The computer is just not really moving much with the available bar. So like king f8, there's not much going on. White cannot really push for a win per se. You could play on, but you know, this is pretty much equal. So it's a really good decision by my opponent. Looks like it's, you know, strategic draw, right? Strategic draw. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. It's a quick video, rapid game. You can see the opening. This is the opening that I've been playing. If you haven't watched my other videos, please do, to see what bishop g5 is all about. I had like at least 2-3 videos. Maybe by the end of the video, like I would put the videos that, you know, speaks about bishop g5 in the 2 videos perhaps at the end of the video. Hopefully you guys learned something. This is like, you know, I'm averaging 24 now, which is interesting. It was 23, you know, 24. Rating could go up and down. I'm just doing this educational stuff for learning purposes. So hopefully guys enjoy that and learn. And I will see you guys by the next video. So stay tuned for more games. More games indeed. See you, folks.